Hello and welcome to lesson 13.2B. I've entitled this video AUTO. This is going to cover pages 792 to 794. How did the automobile change America? Why on earth do you need to study what's changing this country? One man asked the experts. I can tell you what's happening in just 4 letters. AUTO. In the 1920s, Americans traveled to more places and moved more quickly than ever before, all because of the automobile. The auto industry played a central role in the business boom of the 1920s. Car sales grew rapidly during the decade. The auto boom spurred growth in related industries such as steel and rubber. So question number 1, what role did the automobile play in the business boom in the 1920s? Well, not only were Americans buying cars at the biggest pace we had seen, but it also spurred other industries such as in steel, rubber, glass, and others. Cars become affordable. Lower prices sparked the auto boom. By 1924, the cost of a Model T had dropped from $850 to $290. As a result, an American did not have to be rich to buy a car. Car prices fell because factories became more efficient. Question number 2, what happened to the price of the Model T by the year 1924? It had dropped from $850 to $290. Number 3, why was the price drop an important part of the popularity of the Model T? Well, you didn't have to be rich to buy a car anymore, so the average American could buy one. Question 4. How was Henry Ford able to drop the price of the Model T so much? Because he became more efficient. They were producing more cars in the factory, and so when you can make more, you can sell your car for less and still make a lot of profit. And as you can see here, this shows you the bar graph of the price drop, and then this pie graph shows you, notice, Ford only had about 16% of the workers in America in 1914 that worked in the auto industry, and yet they were making nearly half the cars. That's amazing efficiency for Henry Ford. As you have read, Henry Ford introduced the assembly line in his automobile factory in 1913. Before the assembly line, it took 14 hours to put together a Model T. In Ford's new factory, workers could assemble a Model T in 93 minutes. Other companies copied Ford's methods. In 1927, General Motors passed Ford as the top automaker. Unlike Ford, General Motors sold cars in a variety of models and colors. Now we can answer question 5. How did Henry Ford's assembly line affect the time it took to make an automobile? Well, it went from 14 hours to 93 minutes. Wow. Number 6, before General Motors, what was the only color that Model T was offered to consumers? Well, as you're going to see in the next slide, black. Henry Ford had once boasted that people could have his cars in any color so long as it's black. When General Motors introduced a low-priced car available in different colors, Ford lost many customers. Faced with the success of General Motors, he changed his mind. His next car, the Model A, came in different colors. Soon, car companies were offering new makes and models every year. Now we can answer question number 7. What important rule about capitalism does the example of General Motors demonstrate? Well, under capitalism, the government doesn't tell you you have to make cars in different colors. The government lets the free enterprise system work, and in capitalism, General Motors realized, I've got a market here for people that want their car in a color different than black. And so when they offered that car in different colors, people, the consumers, purchased them, and Ford lost business. So under capitalism, competition is a big part of that. And Ford had to adapt his Model T into the Model A that came in different colors. Americans hit the road. Between 1920 and 1928, vehicle registrations boomed. In some areas of the country, they increased more than 200%. A boost for the economy. Car sales spurred growth in other parts of the economy. By 1929, some 4 million Americans owed their jobs to the automobile, directly or indirectly. Tens of thousands of people worked in steel mills, producing metal used in cars. Others made tires, paint, and glass for cars. Some drilled for oil in the Southwest or worked in the oil refineries where crude petroleum was converted into usable gasoline. Question 8. By 1929, 4 million Americans owed their jobs to the automobile. What are some industries that were boosted by the rise of the automobile? Well, you definitely had the steel mills. You definitely had places that made tires, the rubber tires, the paint, the glass, and then definitely, without question, the oil or petroleum industry was big and booming. The car boom had other effects. States and cities paved more roads and built new highways. In 1925, the Bronx River Parkway in New York was the first of many highways in park-like settings. Gas stations, pictured here, car dealers, motels, and roadside restaurants sprang up across the country to serve the millions who traveled by car. In 1920, there were only about 1,500 filling stations in the entire United States. By 1929, there were more than 120,000. Auto repair shops also became a necessity. And so we can add to question number 8 from the previous slide, more places that were benefiting from the automobile boom as far as jobs. Well, people that had to make the highways, so the people that were paving those roads and making all the parts that went into the road. You had gas stations, you had car dealerships, you had motels and roadside restaurants that wouldn't have been around if it wasn't for the car. And then, of course, you can't forget the auto repair shops. You're going to have a place to change your oil and to repair your car when it's broken down. Social effects of car ownership. Cars shaped life in the city and in the country. Many city dwellers wanted to escape crowded conditions. They moved to nearby towns in the country, which soon grew into suburbs, which is short for suburban. A suburb is a community located outside a city. With cars, suburban families could drive to the city even though it was many miles away. They could also drive to stores, schools, or work. No longer did people have to live where they could walk or take a trolley to work. Number 9, define suburb. That is a place or community located outside a city, just outside or suburban. Question 10, what were some of the social effects of the automobile on American society? Well, 1, suburbans sprang up, and so people no longer had to live inside the city. They could live just outside the city, a couple miles, and then drive into the city to still get all the benefits of the stores and the shops and the entertainment that was available without having to live in the same area where it was crowded, and sometimes you had pollution. And so suburbs were a big part of the social effect of the automobile. Another major shift came when suburban housewives refused to be confined to the passenger seat. Instead, they took their place behind the wheels of their own automobiles. As they did, they broke down still another barrier that separated the worlds of men and women. In rural areas, cars brought people closer to towns, shops, and the movies. One farm woman bought a car before she got indoor plumbing. "You can't go to a town in a bathtub," she explained. And to continue question 10, more of the social effects of the automobile is that you had women getting more equality as they refused to sit in the passenger side. They're like, "No, I'm going to drive. I can handle this car just like you." And then finally, it also had an impact on the rural areas. So while they didn't live in the cities or even in the suburbs, they could still eventually drive to town and go to the shops in the towns, or excuse me, the movies and things like that. Well, thank you for watching. Since it is Halloween week, before we go, I do have a Halloween joke for you. Why didn't the skeleton dance at the party? The answer? He had no body to dance with. Have a nice evening.